Sun 969, good morning. We're going to get into part 2 of the morning ramble. Hopefully it goes smoother than part 1 did.
Well, it's interesting because you say Sun 969. This doesn't go on Sun 969.
I know, but it's muscle memory, it's habit. And it's going on a YouTube page that's called Listen to Sun 969. So essentially...
Should we just call it Listen to Sun 969? Come in and say that?
I think it's fine how I did it.
Oh, all right. Okay. Yeah, well, so we had a few dramas in the last one. Apparently, the news wanted to play underneath us because they couldn't wait for us, even though they were early. We were on time.
Yes, we were on time. Usually we're not on time. We actually were on time, and the news was like, I'll just start playing. And because of the way we had the desk set up, even though we had our headphones on, we could only hear us talking. We couldn't hear what was going, So Bruce popped his head in and was like, you guys have got to, like, you're talking over the news essentially. It's like, why is the news playing?
Yes, it's not our fault. The news needs to wait.
The news had some issues.
So we made her do it again. We did. We said, go back, Diane. What's her name? Diane Coveney-Garland?
That's not who did the news today. I forget who it was, but it wasn't her.
No, it's definitely her.
No, it's not. I'm going to go back and have a listen.
I could hear her.
It's not, because when it started playing, do you know how I know this? Because in my head, this is what I thought. So when it started playing and she said, you know how they say their name at the beginning?
Yeah.
She said her name and I thought, I wonder where Diane is. Like I had that thought when she started talking.
I feel like I can hear her voice playing.
No, you can't.
Okay.
You really can't.
Her voice is stuck in my head. She's got this funny thing that she does.
Diane
Coveney-Garland.
Yes.
Like she's almost a drag queen style.
But
I love it.
Because
loose lips.
Because her thing is her name, her saying it in that specific way is stuck in my head. As soon as the news started and it said like a different name, I thought, where's Diane?
Do you think she was born a Coveney-Garland, or do you think she's had a hyphenation in her name somewhere along the line? Because if she's a Coveney-Garland, then she married somebody else, she'd be Coveney-Garland somebody else, if she wanted to keep the names. I mean, people don't have to have the names these days. But that's the big joke about hyphenations in names. But in about 7 generations from now, we'll have hyphenated names that are like 7 names, like with 7 different names hyphenated.
Okay.
Because people will be born with a hyphenation already and a couple of hyphenations, and they'll marry someone else.
I feel like someone wouldn't keep that many hyphenations. They wouldn't let it get that far.
I don't know. Some people might like to do it. Like to be. Like,
do you know what?
Embarrassingly fun.
I read something a while ago, and it kind of stuck in my head. So when I got married, I changed my name. So
did you?
Yes, I took Mr. Loz's last name.
Right.
When I got married, and a lot of people, it was this whole thing: maiden name versus married name, etc. And a lot of people say like the reason for not changing their name, when they're like, this isn't the only reason, so, don't quote me on it, but a lot of people do the whole, it's like the patriarchy, want to keep my name, rah.
Sure.
And so anyway, I read this thing that said there is no such thing as a woman's last name. So when people get married, they go, why should I take the man's name? That's true, but you've got your dad's name, still the man's name. Your mother has the dad's last name. Like, if you go back through history, there is no woman that ever just had her last name.
Men have completely erased females.
Yes, because we never had any. Obviously, there's exceptions to this rule. I mean, a woman could just change her name and make up a last name and make it legal.
Well, of course.
And then obviously she's chosen her own last name. But when people say, I don't want to...
Maybe I should change my name to a drag name.
Or when people go, my mother's maiden name. Well, your mother's maiden name is your grandpa's name.
Yeah.
Like, it's actually not hers. You know what I mean? There's always a man influencing a surname.
I think you're absolutely right. And Lucy Buttons is my drag name, so maybe I should just go to get that registered as my official name.
Sure, go for it.
Why not? Change my name legally to Lucy Buttons.
I mean, if that's what floats your boat.
Well, it could. There'd be a lot of people who like to do that.
Yeah.
Change their name.
It never bothered me changing my name.
Didn't it?
No.
Because it's interesting. I offered that to my wife. I said to her, what do you just stay as you are? And she said, no, I don't like my name. She had a long Italian name, so she didn't want that.
I liked my maiden name, and my dad only had daughters, so a lot of people when I was getting married said, but if you change your name, then and say your sister gets married and changes her name, then it's kind of like the name's going to end. One, that won't happen. My dad was one of 8. The name is certainly going to continue.
Yeah.
And also, on top of that, it's going to it's going to stop anyway, because even if I kept my maiden name and my sister kept her maiden name, our children would take that, unless we hyphenated, which I'm not a fan of hyphenation.
For my family, it was a really big thing because the family name was, for various reasons, going to disappear.
Yeah, okay.
Right. So in that I guess that section of the family tree, it was going to disappear completely. So for me to have a son was really important, and for him to have my last name was very important. So because for various reasons, I think my cousin, he's gay, so he's not going to have kids. That's one reason. So he's the other male with the Slater name, last name. So all my other cousins were the Slaters were the mums, so they were married to different names, so they had different names. So and then my dad's brother, other brother, he never had a son. He only had a daughter. So he he had two kids from his wife's, his second wife's kids from her first marriage were both boys, but they were a different surname again.
Yeah, right.
So everywhere it went, and then my brother is not able to have children because he's autistic and deaf and being cared for by the state, so he'll never have children. So it really was up to me to keep the family name going. So it was important that my kids had my son had the last name Slater for my family anyway.
Yep.
Not that I care too much about what they think, really, because families, you know what it's like. There's always family feuds. But but for my wife, I said to her, well, you can have what you want as long as our kids are called Slater. You can stay how she was. She said, no, I've got a long Italian name that no one could spell, so I want to.
I want to change it to something easier.
And even now, she still stays Slater.
My maiden name and my married name are still were both very generic, like Smith and Jones. Like they were both very, very generic last names. So for me, it wasn't about anything like that. I knew that my future children would have, Mr. Loz's last name, and I wanted to have the same last name as them.
Well, and I think that's what it's all about. Families like that sort of. In fact, have I ever mentioned this on air before to you?
What?
That my last name Slater is probably not Slater.
Yes, you have.
We talked about that on air.
We have.
For those who may not remember, because it's important that we update people when we say things again. Just briefly, there was my dad's grandfather. So his dad's dad was not the man who married. So the man who married his grandmother was a Slater, but she'd already had the baby beforehand. She'd already had Mac. Mac was my grandfather, who I never met. He died when my dad was about 5.
Yeah.
So Mac Slater was not a Slater.
What a cool name.
He was
Mac Slater.
Wait for it. He was a Barbarous or a Barbaro.
Oh.
Now, if he was a Barbaro, he was Italian. If he was a Barbarous, he was Greek. And we've worked out that he was, we think through genetics and so on, because both, all my dad's family, all the siblings are highly academic, all the boys, highly academic. And the guy Barbarous, who we believe is one of the also descendants of this guy, was the head of the Melbourne High School. He was the principal of the Melbourne High School, highly academic as well. So it's considered that we are all technically Barbarouses.
Yeah, okay.
So I would have been Nigel Barbarous if she'd married the man.
I think Slater's better than that.
Well, it is.
It's definitely
but it's
easy.
just a name, so our name doesn't even mean anything. Look at all that. Like, we go to all this trouble to keep the family name going, and it's not even our real name.
Yeah, that's actually a little bit crazy. It does make me. I'm going to finish it on this because I am going to. I think I want to do this. I've been saying it for a few years, but I want to get one of those Ancestry DNA kits.
Yeah, maybe I should do that too.
I want to do it.
We should do it on air.
I know that I'm on one side of my family very well documented. Essentially, both sides of my families are just Irish. We got nothing else.
Yeah, there's a bit of Irish in me too.
I've still got
and a bit of Greek.
Well, I've still got relatives in Ireland. Like, we're only like second generation.
To be sure.
Yeah, we've only been here for a couple of generations.
Right.
So it's fairly well documented on one side, and on the other side it's documented a little bit but not overly. So yeah, I think I want to do one of those ancestry tests, those ancestry DNA tests.
I think we should both do it and then reveal
and
our
then
results
see what our results are.
We'll reveal it on
Oh
here.
my God, then we can claim it on tax.
We can claim everything on tax. We're in radio. We
I
can
know,
claim
that's
anything.
it, right?
We can claim going to the park on tax if we want to.
On that note, we're going to get into the More Music Request Workday very shortly, so I've got to stop this chat so I can jump on the other airwaves.
You do that.